Staying motivated is one of the most difficult things to do when real life is happening to you, but it's of utmost importance to stay true to yourself and also true to your mission. It's hard without knowing what you're after to really put it into words, how you need to get yourself motivated to do what you need to do. But I find that getting yourself into a massive pile of debt, crippling, just punishing amounts of debt can really help. But for real, making your life so that you have to focus on the most important things, to make yourself work as hard as you possibly can to get to where you want to get. Um, when I started the studio, I was 19 and I really didn't know what I was doing financially at all. And I got myself into a mountain of credit card debt, buying all this lovely gear that I love, and building walls and all the things that you have to do to put together a studio. And after 3 years, I was just super intensely focused on getting that debt paid off as fast as possible and making sure that I was working every day I possibly could, going out and meeting people, just taking jobs that I wouldn't normally think of to take. I got doing live sound, I got doing educational stuff, helping people with their home studio setups, helping people learn how to be a recording engineer out of here, teaching classes. Just my own personal journey has been one of focus because you have to. It's good if you can set yourself some limits. Yeah. I, you know, Staying motivated in the long run is one of the most difficult things ever, really, because real life is happening to you at an ever quickening pace. New projects come up, new people come up, heartbreak happens, financial ruin happens. Everything that can go wrong in life can go wrong, and staying motivated on the thing that drives you, especially if you're creative, being a musician, being an artist of any kind, it's really hard most of the time in the world because you're not really rewarded the way that most things reward our dopamine receptors. You're not getting this constant feedback of yes, you're doing good, you're doing good. It's just an uphill climb the whole time. But if you can take time every day to do something that reminds you of that place where you go when the most creative things flow through you, then you'll be able to keep at it. All the great painters, all the great artists everywhere have some way of putting themselves into that state where they're allowing creative energy to move through them in whatever way is going to come out the best. All of your favorite albums have been made by people just like you that were frustrated and angry and scared and hurt and horny, all the things that we go through. And staying motivated it's really difficult, but all of the things that we find really inspiring as creatives, as artists, came from people staying on top of it, making sure that they made time in their life to do the one thing that was the most important to them. And it becomes really obvious pretty quickly what you make a priority. When you don't make something a priority, it kind of falls away. So making what you love a priority is the best advice I could possibly give. Something that keeps me inspired in what I do, because I spend a lot of time doing the technical aspects of other people's music, helping them craft their work in a way that's going to get it to the world the best possible package it can be. I find it super fascinating to read articles written by people who are also fascinated by this subject. So whatever you're into, listening to new artists, listening to old artists, listening to the way things have been crafted. If you're into it, there's a bunch of really great feature sets on YouTube. There's magnificent articles all the time in one of my favorite magazines about recording technology called Tape Op. You should check out tapeop.com for their huge archive of amazing interviews with just about everybody who's ever made a record that you love. There's just so many good things that you can focus on to learn your craft. And I found that spending time when I have some downtime, when I'm not in the studio with an artist, if I'm sitting on my couch, I'm usually reading some ridiculous technical manual about different ways that mixing consoles have routing, or tube mic preamps or compressors or whatever silliness I'm into. But I would imagine the same is true no matter what you're into. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, if you want to learn more about singing, songwriting, composition, how to meet girls, whatever it is, focusing on that as part of your downtime is a really good idea, because when else are you going to do it? If you're working all the time, you're not going to be able to grow in other ways. So